The Marvel Cinematic Universe started in 2008 with the release of Iron Man, and ever since the first movie, it has grown as a franchise and has made a solid fan base ever since, with a total of 29 films now, 4 phases, and a box office of $27.5 billion. This cinematic universe is indeed the best of all time. So, in today's video, I will be explaining the entire MCU timeline in the least amount of time possible. A very ambitious video of mine. So, without any further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So the MCU started off with 6 singularities that existed and known as space, mind, reality, time, and soul. After the universe began, cosmic entities like death, entropy, and infinity were created from the singularities, and elders of the universe, the collector, and the grandmaster came into being. Arishem, a celestial, started to create different planets, and realizing they need help in expanding the universe, they planted embryonic celestials, and they would be born once life on the planet reached a critical junction, which would then destroy the planets as they came into existence. And to help the life form flourish, the celestials created monsters called deviants that would finish the apex predators on the planet. But unfortunately, the deviants started attacking the life form too. So to keep the deviants in check, the celestials created eternals, which are synthetic life forms created to kill the deviants on the planet and to help the life form flourish and unknowingly lead to the planet's disaster. Several million years ago, Ego the living planet comes into existence, who goes from galaxies to galaxies and planets to planets and sees them in hopes of creating another celestial like him. But even though he is a god, but still ends up being a selfish idiot. Nearly in 5000 BC, the Eternals came to the Earth and are sent to wipe out deviants, and by 1521, they kill all deviants. Well, they think so, since they are instructed to not interfere in any activities besides those involving the deviants. The Eternals then go on into being teachers or Bollywood actors. Meanwhile, this happens, other godly figures like the Asgardians come to Earth too, but most of their activities remain in the realm of Asgard. And many activities take place as Odin conquers the 9 realms with the help of his firstborn and executioner, Hela the goddess of death. But as her thirst for blood grows, a big fight between Hela and Odin, with the result of all Valkyries dying, but finally banishing Hela and replacing all of the memories. Later Thor is born, and after Odin rears the frost giants, he adopts the leader's son, Loki. Loki and Thor didn't get off really well, and once he turned into a snake and tried to stab Thor, but it didn't work. Also, meteoroids made of super metal named vibranium strikes on the country of Africa, and the country of Wakanda is established after a warrior lays the founding of the Black Panther. While this happens, 1000 years from present date, Wenwu does a discovery of his own, finds the 10 rings that grant him immortality, and he topples governments and influences the world's direction. He later goes into a magical forest where he meets the guardian of the forest and finds supernatural stuff, marries the woman and has 2 kids of his own, leaves the 10 rings, but when his wife is killed, he reunites with his rings and kills the people who killed his wife, and he trains his son to become a killer, which happens later on in the MCU. Then moved to the 1940s, where a Nazi officer named Johann Schmitz tests his first super soldier serum on Abraham, which although gives him super strength and powers, but corrupts his mind and turns his face into red. He then creates an army and an organization called Hydra with the help of the Tesseract. This same year, Steve Rogers volunteers for the same super soldier serum program and is successful, but after Johann is killed and his research is lost. Thus, rather to risk their only super soldier in war, they use the code name Captain America to sell their war bonds on a catchy song. But eventually, Steve goes on a mission to save his friend Bucky Barnes, and then becomes an active soldier and commander of a group called Howling Commandos. In one mission, Bucky falls off the train and is assumed dead, but he is brainwashed and is codenamed the Winter Soldier. The Red Skull, in attempt of using the Tesseract, is teleported into Vormir, where he guards the Soul Stone. Meanwhile, Steve Rogers crashes the plane with the nukes into the ice and is later received by Nick Fury after 70 long years.